And just to add, what you're working on right now, I know we are working with an external system to help, especially for those who cannot read. But we're also working. It's a recommendation that has been made earlier, and we're now working on version 2.0 of the Civic Voices app that will include most of the recommendations that have come from the people we have engaged with, and from that we'll have the iOS, the improved version of the Android app, and the web app as well. Because we had also responses that some people don't have space on their phones, so they don't know what app to substitute with Civic Voices. So can we have an alternative for them, despite the advantages that comes to the mobile app vis-a-vis a web app? Right? Then I'll also, on the same note, appreciate the department. Yes. There is a change of attitude on how public participation is done in Nairobi. And I can say that from a first-person perspective, having worked with the Department of Public Participation, there is increasing concern of how best do we do public participation and how do we make it meaningful to the people. And even to the extent that the study is being done, and we have Civic Voices part of the study, is to get the loopholes, and then how do we bring in more people, or what steps can we make then to make public participation more meaningful in Nairobi? And with that, I'd like to applaud Nairobi City County. And then there are two questions that were asked by her from ODM about young people. The information, is it inclusive? That was asked. I wish I had time so that I break down that information. But from what you've gathered, more young people are getting engaged in public participation because of the availability of the digital space. And we hope that we'll build more and more into that outcome that we have harvested. So young people, again, and this answering his question on are we implementing or are we just seeking numbers? The danger of implementing when you don't have numbers is then increasing exclusion rather. Because we'll implement something that has been passed by 10 people when in fact it's supposed to be passed by 1 million people. So those who are privileged to get that information then are given, kipaumbele over the majority. So it's a terrible balance between having the numbers and having the implementation, which I now bring to you, the people. These things cannot happen if we, the people, don't engage in governance. When you talk about meaningful public participation, the county government can do advertisement in 10 newspapers. But if they do that and you don't show up, it will still not be meaningful. So is it then our fault or is it the county's fault? So it's a balance between our interest and engagement in matters governance and the development of our communities vis-a-vis what is provided by the county. So when those things meet in the middle, then we have meaningful public participation. But you cannot expect that from the county as well, alone. It is our responsibility as people as well. I think lastly, can we convert the youth democratic dividend into impact? The same question from the lady from ODM, and I think my previous response answers that in a good way, so that I don't add more into that. So thank you, Dan.
A round of applause for